Have you noticed how someone can live permanently in your thoughts while you barely exist in theirs? If you've opened this video, there's surely a specific person who dominates your mind. You remember them when you open your eyes each morning during sleepless nights, even while you try to concentrate on other things. But reality hurts. That person never seeks you out, never takes the initiative, never shows that intensity you constantly experience, leaving you trapped in an emotional labyrinth of illusion, uncertainty, and agony. Welcome to Psychology Wisdom, where we reveal the hidden dynamics of human behavior. Today, we'll discover what it really means when someone inhabits your mental universe while being brilliantly absent from your reality. We won't sugarcoat anything. We're going straight to the raw psychological truth your heart needs to understand. Before we continue, if this message resonates deeply with you, please press like on this video and subscribe for more revelations about human psychology and emotional bonds. Trust me, what you'll discover will completely change your perspective. Let's start right now. Here comes the first reality that many people refuse to face. When someone feels genuine interest in you, they don't evaporate from the map. They don't keep you in constant uncertainty. They don't practice emotional games of appearing and disappearing. Behavioral science identifies something called the principle of minimum effort. Essentially, certain people discover they can maintain your interest and devotion without needing to invest real energy. They remember you when it's convenient for them. They contact you during moments of boredom. They reappear precisely when you're ready to break free. And this tactic works because you keep responding. He's not confused about his desires, he simply feels comfortable with the current situation. He receives your emotional investment, your constant attention, possibly your affection, without needing to commit or maintain consistent presence. This doesn't represent true love, it's comfort disguised as intimacy. So why does he continue dominating your thoughts? Because your brain is trying to solve a puzzle without a solution. Research on the Zeigarnik effect shows that human beings become obsessed with incomplete matters. Your consciousness constantly returns to him because the narrative remains open, not because he represents your ideal partner. However, there's more depth to this situation. Here we arrive at the painful but transformative part. When someone never seeks you out, never organizes meetings, never provides you security, or places you as a priority, but you remain obsessively thinking about that person, you need to understand something critical. You're not in love with their true self. You're in love with their imagined potential. Your mind has fabricated an idealized version based on fleeting fragments when they showed genuine presence. That occasion when you talked until dawn, that penetrating look you exchanged, that electric connection you briefly experienced. But let's confront the fundamental psychological reality. Our imagination fills empty spaces with our longings, not with objective facts. There's a psychological phenomenon called projective idealization. When someone remains emotionally distant, we subconsciously project our personal hopes, principles, and aspirations onto that person. We construct a perfect version that never really existed. Simultaneously, the authentic person, that man who doesn't contact you, is revealing exactly who he is through his behaviors, or more specifically, through his absence of behaviors. Actions communicate truths that words deliberately hide. If he genuinely wanted to participate significantly in your existence, you would witness it in his daily conduct, not only feel it in your hopeful emotions. But wait, because the next explanation is even more enlightening. Now we go deeper. Occasionally, when we can't stop thinking about someone absent, it's not really about that person, it's about ourselves. Psychological research on attachment patterns reveals that we frequently cling to emotionally inaccessible individuals when something within us requires urgent attention. Perhaps it represents deep loneliness, perhaps deficient self-esteem, perhaps terror of solitude or desperate need for external approval. Reflect honestly. What circumstances were you going through when this person acquired so much importance to you? Were you experiencing significant changes? Did you feel disoriented or emotionally insecure? We frequently cling to someone not because they're extraordinary, but because they temporarily fill a pre-existing emotional void. And here comes the revealing discovery. When you use another person to complete your emotional deficiencies, it will never work adequately, because people aren't magic remedies, they're travel companions. And healthy relationships are only built from places of personal fullness, never from places of desperation. If you constantly think about someone who remains absent, ask yourself with brutal honesty, what void am I trying to fill through this non-existent person? The answer could completely revolutionize your perspective. But before exploring what actions to take, there's an additional factor you need to fully understand. Here comes a particularly uncomfortable truth. Some men know perfectly well what they're strategically executing. Perhaps he doesn't call you directly, but sends messages during the early morning hours. Perhaps he never confirms definite plans, but vaguely promises that soon you'll share time together. Perhaps he disappears for entire weeks, but resurfaces precisely when you begin to move forward, with exactly the perfect amount of charm to keep you emotionally hooked. This is called breadcrumbing in relational psychology, providing only enough fragments of interest to keep you involved without truly committing. Why do some men adopt this strategy? Occasionally, it represents inflated ego. They enjoy knowing someone is constantly thinking about them. Occasionally, it represents paralyzing fear. They don't want you completely, but they also don't want to lose you definitely. And occasionally, honestly, it represents pure selfishness. They want to keep multiple options available while you patiently wait, relegated to the background. What's devastating is that while you daydream about a shared future, he simply enjoys the present moment without commitments or responsibilities. But genuine hope exists, and it comes from recovering your personal authority. So let's recap what it truly means when someone permanently inhabits your mind but never contacts you. It means you're clinging to a constructed fantasy. It means your brain is trying to complete a story he already deliberately abandoned. It means you're investing valuable emotional energy in someone who doesn't reciprocate equivalently. And fundamentally, it means the time has come to redirect that powerful energy toward yourself. Here's what you need to understand from the psychology of healthy bonds. When someone genuinely values you, they don't keep you constantly guessing. They don't make you fight for crumbs of attention. They don't make you feel like a secondary alternative. Authentic love is consistent, transparent, balanced. If he doesn't contact you regularly, it's not because he's professionally busy, emotionally confused, or scared of commitment. It's because he's not choosing you in the way you deserve to be chosen. And that doesn't reflect your intrinsic value. It reflects his inability to recognize it adequately. So what actions do you take right now? First, recognize that obsessively thinking about someone doesn't equal having genuine connection with that person. They represent completely different and separate realities. Second, consciously redirect your valuable attention. Every time you discover yourself thinking about him, intentionally change your mental focus towards something that genuinely adds value to your existence. Your personal goals, your individual evolution, the people who truly appear consistently for you. Third, establish necessary distance. If it's indispensable, eliminate all visual reminders. Stop obsessively monitoring his social media. Stop anticipating his eventual message. Grant your mind the necessary space to completely detoxify from him. And finally, allow yourself to consciously let go, not because he's an evil person, but because you deserve someone who never makes you doubt your worth. You deserve someone whose concrete actions perfectly align with your deep feelings. The right person won't only inhabit your imagination, they'll inhabit your real daily life. If this video impacted you deeply, please press like and share it with someone who urgently needs to hear this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Psychology Wisdom for more psychological revelations about love, relationships, and human behavior. Leave me a comment down below. Have you ever clung to someone who remained emotionally absent? What strategies finally helped you move forward? I'd love to hear your personal experience. That said, thank you for joining me and see you in the next video.